Good afternoon, everyone. We'd like to call this Orangeburg County Council meeting of August the 20th, 2018 to order. We're going to ask Councilman Harry Wimley to give us a moment of thanks before we proceed.
Well, bow with me in prayer. Father, we thank you for the beauty and glory of this day, and Father, that you allow us that we might assemble in the land of freedom, that we might discuss the business of this county and how we can better it for the citizens of our county. All these blessings we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so very much, Reverend. I hope each and every one of you have had the opportunity to look at your minutes of the July the 2nd, 2018 meeting. And if you have any corrections or notation, please note it. If not, please give me a motion and second that those minutes be received as written.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Ms. Cooper Smith and second by Mr. Johnny Ravenel that the minutes be received as written. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposers? The ayes have it, the motion is carried. Again, we want to say good afternoon to everyone and welcome to our meeting today. As always, at the beginning of our meetings, we have public comments in two areas: public comments of agenda items and public comments of other matters. Public comments of agenda items fall anything on the agenda you may come up and ask questions or comment on unless it falls under a public hearing. And if it's under a public hearing, at that time you will wait until you get to the public hearing and note that. And the other one is public comments of other matters. That means anything that you need to bring to council, you may come forward when that time comes. So the floor is now open for public comments of agenda items. Hearing none, we'll close that portion and go to public comments of other matters. Anything that anyone would like to bring before council at this time, please state your name and the topic that you would like to address council on.
My name is Gloria Rickenbacker Petto, and I'm following up on the same thing I've been before y'all talking about, rooster and the dogs.
You want to comment on that, Mr. Administrator, or the council president? That's the only that you hear?
Now, I was worried about the chickens, but not about the dogs. The dogs, there's a difference. We can handle that simpler, but the chickens, I know we've been working on. I've been out there personally on the chickens, but the dogs is different. That's what I'm hearing.
That's a new issue.
No, I mentioned about the dog when I was here before.
Mr. Administrator.
Yes, sir.
Please do whatever you can to catch both the rooster and the dog.
But the rooster's in the pen.
I understand where you're coming from about the rooster,
Yes.
but you were about the dog a couple of years ago too.
That's right.
And I want you to do what you can to help her. Give us some relief if we can give us some relief.
Gloria, we appreciate you, and we'll somebody will follow. Thank you so much. Any other comments?
I was here before concerning the property on the corner of Chestnut and 601. I live on Chestnut, but the property I'm referring to is a car wash. And at first I thought it was all rig too, that's the way it looked. And I consider this the gateway to the city. Many important people come down 601. And I think when they approach the universities, they shouldn't have to get a look at this. Of course, we have 3 other businesses on that corner. Nothing is like this. And I would appreciate that someone take a look at it.
She may live in the county, but the parcel she's talking about is in the city.
Yeah.
And we did reach out to the property owners, and we found out who owned it and told them that we had a complaint that came to county council. But that property is in the city, so they would have to do the legalities of doing citations and that type of stuff. We can't do that because it's in the city.
They told me it was in the
Chestnut 601 is in the city?
That particular parcel.
I thought that was in District 5.
I mean, it's in the city.
Ms. Monroe,
It's in 5 in the city.
somebody will find out where it's at.
I think Mr. Willett owns no way.
Mr. Orange, you know where, you know who's.
You know exactly what she's talking about.
It's in the city.
I went by the owner, called him out, talked to him, told him how bad it looked, and strongly suggested there's something with the property. And she was here before, and we mentioned that. And I think we need to go to the city together. And if you want me to go to the city with you, I'll go. But something needs to be done with the property. I do agree.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Sarah. We'll follow. I appreciate it. Any other comments from anyone? If not, we have closed the public comment portion of our meeting, and we're going to our regular meeting. First item on the agenda is it's an ordinance in third reading and a public hearing. And this is an ordinance authorizing pursuant to Chapter 12, Chapter 44 of the Court of Laws of South Carolina, 1976, as amended, the execution and delivery of a fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes agreement by and between Orangeburg County and a certain company as sponsors and sponsors affiliate, respectively identified collectively for the time being as Project Olive, to provide for a fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes, incentives, and certain special source of revenue credits and other related matters. The attorney, you want to, just for the public, give a summary of what this is all about. This is third reading, and then we'll open the floor for public hearing.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. This is a fee in lieu that is allowable by County Council through the state ordinance, and I will yield to the attorney.
Project Olive is a solar farm to sell power to utility companies. And actually the first three items on your agenda are related to Project Olive. It's a $28 million construction project.
All right, well, we got three items related to that particular project. The one is about the industrial park itself, and the other one is the resolution, and all of them is under the same code. So what the industrial park part of it is basically, I'm gonna just take all three of them, Madam Attorney, and then
You
that way
can.
we can do all of them in one.
The inducement resolution usually comes first months ago. I don't know why they're doing it
I don't know
tonight
either.
on third reading.
Yeah, it would be first.
But there's a legal reason for it, I'm sure.
Right.
But it's overtime for that. And we often have the one ordinance for both the fee
Right.
in lieu and the multi-county park. So yes, all three of those can be voted on at the same time, but you do need to have your public hearing.
Right. So the floor is now open for public hearing on either one or these three items. The ordinance for the industrial park, the regular ordinance, and also the resolution. Just those two ordinances. Questions, comments, you may report it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
does all three of these first two ordinances have the same ramification, or carry the same ramification?
Well, one of them is for putting it in the industrial park, and the first one I read is about the tax incentives and all the things that we do for a regular ordinance. You know, usually when we have one, most of them want to be in the industrial park, and the industrial park is just that we share that with the other county, and they get 1%. If it's in our county, we get 91%. That's basically what the second ordinance is about.
So no difference in the usual resolution,
No.
Mr. Thomas?
All the same. Any other questions, comments? If not, I would appreciate a motion and a second for third reading and also on the resolution for item 1, 2, and 3.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept item 1 and 2.
And 3 is the resolution.
Should I put 3 in there?
Yes, sir. You can. It's the same project.
1, 2, and 3, sir.
Yes. Okay, second. Moved by Mr. Willoughby Owens, and second by Mr. Hayward Livingston or Mr. Bayless, that we accept those items. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. And opposed, the ayes have it, the motion stands. Item number 4 is an ordinance also, but this is a second reading, and this is an ordinance of the County Council of Orangeburg County amending the zoning map of the unincorporated Orangeburg County to change the zoning designation for the real property described as tax map number 0316-05-015 from residential general district to commercial general district and providing for severability and effective date. Mr. Administrator or Mr. Madam Attorney, for those who may not have been at first reading, could you just give them a summary of what this is all about?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. The Planning Commission met on June 13, 2018 to discuss the request from Mr. Robert Jackson. He has a property at 1523 Grave Street. This is in Council District 7. He requested a change from residential general to commercial general. The property was commercial in use in the past, but was burned and never rebuilt. The owner wishes to reestablish the auto repair business, and his neighbors also came to the Planning Commission in support of the request. There was no opposition, and the commission voted unanimously to recommend approval. It's being sent to you for approval as council from the Planning Commission with unanimous approval.
Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe it's an oversight on my part, but I noticed the tax map numbers are different.
And what is on the actual
Yeah,
ordinance and all the backup materials are all 173. So
the tax map, would that be?
Read the correct tax map number should be 01731605015000.
Thank you, sir.
But property address is correct, 1523 Grave Street.
Mr. Chairman, this seemed like my day.
Go for it. What you got?
I went by Greg Street where this is proposed. It's kind of in a corner of Greg. Now, it's all right, providing if we don't accumulate the same kind of situation that was spoke of a few minutes ago. So I think the owner should be aware that he should keep, just because he has a garage, and we know how many cars sometimes accumulate in the area. People have garages, and we have several areas like that in the county. So I hope we make the owner aware of the importance of keeping a clean environment. Please do.
Well, thank you, Mr. Owens, and I think you reiterated that on the first reading, and you reiterated again, and you'll keep reiterating. Hopefully somebody get the message.
Yes, sir.
Grateful.
Loud and clear.
All right. So you get a motion and second that
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
moved by Mr. Willie D. Orange, the councilman from that district, and second by Ms. Cooper Smith, that we pass second reading on this. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposers, the ayes have it, the motion is carried. Item 5 is the first reading ordinance, and this is an ordinance providing for the issuance of the general obligation bonds in one or more series, tax exempt or taxable in an amount not to exceed $5,500,000 to fund the purchase of county vehicles, authorizing the county administrator to prescribe the form and details of the bonds, providing for the payments of the bonds and disposition of the proceeds of the bonds, provide for borrowing in anticipation of the issuance of the bonds and other related matters.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Summarize.
This is the first reading on potential borrowings to replace additional public works vehicles, administration vehicles, and sheriff vehicles. Also, we should add to the list, it should be vehicles and equipment, and part of that is also to replace compactors at the convenience site.
Any questions from council on any?
Yes, on the go ahead, on the compact, I think you talking with
I think it's like 20-something, just about one at every convenience site. We haven't replaced compactors since we pretty much started the convenience site process, and that's causing us some backup at some of the convenience sites, so we have to schedule those to be replaced. We did like 2 or 3 with the budget, but we got to do, it's to the point that most of them need to be replaced.
we had some rebuilt a few years ago,
Yes, sir.
we tried, how did that come out?
They held up for a little while, but some of those compactors are,
Oh, wow.
yeah, there's nothing to well to them because they've been there for 20-something years.
Right.
I go back in the year to this purchase equipment.
Yes, sir.
And past couple of years, we've been having a lot of problems with the boom mower. And I know we had a problem one time with the boom mower, the tractor breaking in half and this and that, whatever. But evidently, we still getting new equipment, up-to-date equipment, and we still having problems with boom mowers. And when it comes to this time of year, we got grass cutting season and things of that sort. And when I call the Public Works Department, and they tell me they can't get parts for a month for a tractor piece of equipment, that's kind of, I don't know if we need to change and get a different brand or different type or what the case may be.
We may have to change the last set of boom mowers, if I'm not mistaken, with the New Hollands, so they may not hold up to what we have to do. We may have to look at something else.
Is the tractor broke down or the boom mower broke down?
Well, they just said that the equipment was broken, it takes about a month to get parts for it, so.
See, the tractor's one thing,
But the arm is
but the
different.
boom mower and the arm is made by different manufacturers.
Yeah.
So two different pieces of equipment put together.
What I'm gonna say, whatever the case may be, we need to make a change to get some improvement on the way.
I have to agree with Councilwoman. I think it's more so the arm versus the tractor. I haven't heard of the tractors not running. I just think the apparatus that comes out and does the mowing, they've been having some issues with that maybe.
So that's the question, we released that part of the,
No.
that's an add-on.
The boom mowers we purchased, but the Caterpillar equipment we leased.
Is the boom motor mowers on the Caterpillar a Ford case or what?
It's a New Holland
So it's all on the blanket.
Blanchard.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm talking about the tractor though. Some of them is, you hauling tractors?
All of them on that.
All of them. Now,
Okay. You know, these boom mowers have been giving us trouble since I've been on council. We got trouble out of them. You know, and we should be done have about figured out by now somehow or another.
okay.
The tractor's breaking in half of the boom mowers. Well, I know the last 3 or 4 weeks we had trouble with.
Yes, sir. I'd have to check with Mr. Summers and see get the information on downtime, and then we'll look at that, and we may have to, sometimes when you're trying to save money, it may not be worth the savings, and we might just have to go to a more industrial boom mower, which may cost more, but it should last better. So that's something we have to
Well,
look
my
at.
thing is, anytime a tractor's gonna be down for a month, we need to have something continuously we can run the tractor, run the piece of apparatus or something to continue to work. Because I get harassed per se by my constituents about the grass cutting and that sort. I don't mind the phone call, but they're there.
I understand, and before we finalize the list, this is just first reading. Council will have the list presented to them. You guys will get to approve the equipment and what we purchase.
Any other comments? Okay. Now, can I get a motion and second for first reading on this ordinance?
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Johnny Ravenel and second by Mr. Davis that we pass first reading on the ordinance to issue the bonds. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposers? The ayes have it. Motion is carried. Item number 6 is a resolution authorizing an amendment to the amended and reinstated agreement for the development of a joint industrial park by and between Dorchester County and Orangeburg County to extend the term of a property's inclusion within the park, to confirm the inclusion of certain properties located in Dorchester County and other matters related thereto.
This is a Dorchester project. It was also known as Project Ambassador in Dorchester, which is why some of your materials that are attached will use the AKA name. But it's coastal corrugated. They're investing $3.2 million, and they have figured out what their fee in lieu and other things are in Dorchester County, and they also want to be in a multi-county park for the job credits. And so it's before you for a single reading on whether you agree to put it in the park, and if you do, then the county's entitled to 1% of the fee payment.
Thank you, Madam Attorney. Any questions on that? If not, could I get a motion and second that we pass this resolution?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Harry Wembley and second by Mr. Billy B. Owens that we pass the resolution as explained by the attorney. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion is carried. Item number 7 is a resolution honoring Miss Betty A. Henderson, and it reads as follows, service. And whereas Miss Henderson served as the chairman of the Orangeburg Democratic Party for 20 years, she served as Branchville's mayor pro tem for 10 years, and she currently serves as budget chairman at Cannon Baptist Church. And whereas Miss Betty Henderson was the first Afro-American woman tax assessor in the state of South Carolina, first Afro-American since construction elected to the town council in Branchville for 12 years. She was the only Afro-American inducted into the South Carolina Associated Assessing, and whereas Miss Betty Henderson has been recognized by who's who among women by Afro-American women in leadership by the South Carolina Assembly in the House of Representatives. And whereas Ms. Henderson started as a deputy registrar, she has been a political advocate for 50 years. Both the Orangeburg Democratic Party's first national president debate. Now therefore be it resolved that Orangeburg County Council does hereby acknowledge the outstanding contribution and services Ms. Henderson has made to humanity in the county of Orangeburg and to the state of South Carolina. Can I get a motion and a second that we pass this resolution?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Wimley and second by Ms. Cooper Smith that we pass the resolution. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, the motion is carried. Official action, authorization of form security detail contract for school year 2019, Mr. Administrator.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. This is the security service detail contract between the school districts and the sheriff's department to provide SROs to the schools. It outlines the rate of pay as well as responsibilities of the school districts to pay the officers in the event that they have to do special service work outside of the SRO detail. And I'll yield to the attorney for additional specifics.
There's really nothing other than this is the same contract as last year.
Thank you, Madam Attorney. Any questions for Harold or the attorney?
Yes, I have one, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Go for it.
Madam Attorney,
Yes, sir.
do you think the Orangeburg County Sheriff Department as well as the school board can live up to this contract?
Yes, because they have historically for at least 10 years.
So there is no major changes in the contract the way it was in the past 10 years? Thank you.
Any other questions? Now, could I get a motion second that we authorize or pass the authorization for this form?
Move, Mr. Chairman.
I second, Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Mr. Hayward Livingston, second by Mr. Willie B. Owens, that we pass the authorization form for the school year 2018-19. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, the motion is carried. Got an A and a B. One of them is the Edisto River debris removal phase 2. And the other one is the replacement of the finance equipment replacement. You want to take them one at a time, Mr. Administrator?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. The first one is the Edisto River debris removal. The County of Orangeburg has been working with the state and DNR through Senator Matthews and Senator Hutto to do an effort to clean up the river by removing debris from some of the storms to make it more passable for people who do boating and fishing. In an effort to do that, we're continuing to work on the Edisto River master plan as part of continuing the efforts. We did a survey from 30 miles from Glover Street Landing to below Branchville. This is a continuation of the first 10 miles of obstruction that was cleared from Schillings Bridge Road to Glover Street through the first project. The miles were put out to bid and the contract was awarded to Dorado in the amount of $65,920. Dorado contracted with Zulu, a subcontractor, to provide this, and the project was completed. The first portion, the first 10 miles, was completed in December of 17. Now we have moved on to the next phase of the project, and we've got a proposal from the same contractor that was hired by the consultant to help with the assessments to continue phase 2. And that part of the project, which is a 30 river mile stretch, will cost $138,000, basically $4,600 per river mile. This is similar work to that was done in phase 1. The contractor and the subcontractor performed the last project with exceptional results. They outlined the obstruction, GPS'd them, photographed them, put GPS coordinates on it, and then videoed the removal as well. We think they did an exceptional job, and this is for the benefit of the people who recreate within the county. And we are asking you that you give us the ability to waive the procurement code so that we can continue with the same contract group to finalize the work to move on to the second phase. This funding is funded by South Carolina DNR in total, so this would be grant funding coming straight from DNR as a grant project, and we would like to continue use the same contractors in the same format to keep the work moving. That way, if there's something has to be go back and done, there's no arguing back and forth about, well, this contractor did this in the first 10 miles and this one did it in the second 20 or whatever. It's all continuous work, so if there's something that wasn't done, to have one person to locate, and then in the event of a disaster, then we can go back to the same vendor if it happens again with a lot of obstruction. That's our goal. Our goal is to touch both ends of the county with this project, so we're going to get every portion of the Edisto that touches us, and then also use it to also add additional canoeing stop points. Ms. Bayless has also had some funding that she had as far as the capital project sales tax, that we're looking to put a plan together to add an additional canoe stop along there to make it more convenient for canoers and people to use the river as well. And Mr. Chairman, I also would like to add that council should be commended that it was a long, hard fight, but we rescued and made Nest Boat Landing back public on the western end too, and that's probably one of the more finer boat landings that's actually has surveillance with it as well. So it's a good deal that we did do some of the work on the western end, but we're going to do the entire river side to side. And then we've also, on the western end, started looking at the area right side out of, is it Carson? It's the park right along the river, Carson Landing as well, for additional improvements in the future too.
Any other? Yes, ma'am, Attorney.
Mr. Chairman, as Director Hall pointed out, this isn't just a one motion thing. The first is we need to have a finding from the council that we don't need to use the competitive process to select the vendor, that there are special circumstances here, and obviously the special circumstances are how competitive the cost is. And then an award to the Zulu if that is who y'all present.
Mr. Chairman, you can carry it.
It has been moved and second, moved by Mr. Wimbley and second by Mr. Owens, for the finding of a competitive bid. All in favor of it, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion is carried. That we get a motion and a second that we award fiscal year 18-65.
Yes.
So that's all of that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Procurement bid FY 180625 RFP for financial systems. This is to replace the current system that we use in-house for the financial system that runs all of the financial aspects of the county. We had the technology consultants that have been guiding us through our technology overhaul. Was part of the team that did the research, and what we came back with was 3 vendors, and it's our recommendation that we award the bid to Tyler Technologies in the amount of $799,459. This is a 3-year cost for the financial system. This is a contractor that we recommend based upon the information that we received from eLert Technology, that it will work with a lot of the other platforms that we have in place, like the new tax software system, the systems that we do throughout the county. And this is also, in the end, the upgrade will actually save us compared to what we are using now And we have a statement from the IT director. We use ADP for the payroll and HR, and SunGuard for AP procurement and processing and redundancy. This system that we use is a $458,232,000 system that basically will net us a $300,000 savings per year once we get the system implemented.
Any other questions? Thank you. All right, can I get a motion and second that we accept this replacement system bid?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Mr. Bayless, second by Mr. Billy Owens, that we accept the finance system replacement bid as explained. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, the motion is carried. Next is an update from the litter control report, and I'll yield to Vice Chair Cooper Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This report comes from Marie Canty, who is the Director of Litter Control, and is for the months of June and July. It's a little early for August, and we've given you the results of the other months. For the cases that were open in June, there were 91 cases. Of the 91 cases, 43 were closed. The total amount of weight litter collected in June was 18,340 pounds. In July, again, 91 cases were opened, 46 cases were closed, and a total of 14,580 pounds of litter was picked up. Those two months, June and July, 182 cases open, 89 closed, 32,920 pounds of litter. That's a lot of litter. Now with the warnings and citations, in June, 8 warnings were written and 10 citations. In July, 88 warnings and 28 citations. So you see, we're not playing with the ordinance, and the state just passed a bill earlier this month.
Thank you, Madam.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Councilwoman Jenny Cooper Smith, thank you for your continuous support. But in terms of making a difference, are we making any money?
I have the opportunity sometimes to go to the locker at the detention center over there, and we talk about an ordinance being enforced. And it's all up at the grass over there, about 3 foot high in there, where they have the locker at.
Yes, sir.
And people go over there, they complain about, different things.
Yes.
Probably can run up on snakes or anything in there.
Yes, sir. We in the process of, we just redoing the bid for the contractor that does that, and then the jail is responsible for doing the areas outside of the jail. But you have to make sure when there's a new system in the prison system for nonviolent offenders, they get what you call good time credit. So for every day they don't do anything bad, don't do anything wrong, don't cause, they get reduction in time. So, they spend a whole lot shorter time, and there was a premium put on not giving lengthy sentences to child support and stuff like that, and that's where most of your nonviolent ones come from. So the pool of inmates that we had to do that type of labor is highly shortened, because they don't stay in that long as they used to, which is a difference in that. And then what the citizens have to understand is that we only allow certain types of inmates to do work outside of jail. They have to be nonviolent offenders that don't have certain things in their past that we can allow them to be out of the jail to do work like that. And that's part of the problem too.
If I'm saying that we ought to make our area that we have, county areas, try to make that a priority.
Yes, sir.
To get those areas taken care of.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Harold, I know that, I think it was the Pelham Pride, the walking trail,
Yes, sir.
things of that sort. And I'm still confident getting complaints. And I know probably nothing we can do because it's a cost thing. people that Vikings cross Santee River from North Santee to South Santee. And they don't have a passage. And I don't know how we're gonna figure that out.
So bicycle.
Bicycle,
Okay. We have a bike impaired study that's being done for the county, and I will give the Lower Savannah, that's part of the Lower Savannah study that they're doing, so we need to make sure we give them that information so they can include that in the study.
Any other? And I thank you all for attending our meeting tonight, and we will entertain a motion and a second for adjournment, please.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Smith and second by Mr. Ravenel. Let you adjourn. Y'all have a safe trip home.